What prompts care? This seems like a strange question on its face because why should anybody need to be prompted to care, especially about a person that they say they are attracted to or they want to be in a relationship with or that they desire to have in their life, right? Why would they need to be prompted? But I'm wondering about it because recently, over the last several months, I've seen so many, I guess, posts, comments, statements that men have made, where they seem to be throwing women's independence in women's faces. When we had a snowstorm a month ago, they were making posts about, oh, all these independent women, I bet you're regretting that now. Who's going to shovel your driveway? Who's going to get the snow off the front of your car? When there was the threat of losing food stamps and other government assistance. Oh, all these independent women, I guess you're going to have to go back to Tyrone now because, you can't feed yourself. You can't take care of yourself without these government benefits. Now, of course, all of this is just assumption because women who are single still have family members most times, still have friends most times, still have coworkers, still have neighbors. They still have themselves and they can take care of themselves most times. That's why they were basically independent. So the assumptions in this scenario are very loud, and just the resentment, the anger, the animosity, the hostility is like, where is all this coming from? And it kind of makes me wonder, even when I see posts like, why are these independent women wanting men to still pay for dates? We just had Valentine's Day. I hope these independent women aren't expecting to get flowers or candy or some kind of romantic gesture. So from this line of thinking, it seems like dependence, a woman having no access to funds, needing a man to completely provide for her, is what would make these men care for her, be romantic to her, take care of her, and treat her well. But if we look at the time period when men did have so much more control because women were prevented from getting, educations, working in a lot of jobs, having credit, having grants, having loans, being able to get no-fault divorce. Women were prevented from all of this. DV rates were higher. Unaliving rates, partner rates, where the partner unalived the other partner, were higher. Women unaliving themselves, that rate was 20% higher. So men weren't caring for these women that were dependent on them en masse. They were treating them very poorly. They were abusing their power. They were being unfaithful. They were creating side families and all of these other things. But now that women have access to funds and grants and loans, now that is somehow supposed to make men think they don't have to do these things. And of course they don't have to, but that women somehow either shouldn't want them or don't want them, or the thinking is really strange to me. So I just want to say this. Most people get into a relationship because they care about a person and they want that person to demonstrate the care that they have. They want reciprocal care. That care can be many things. It can be financial, it can be emotional, it can be mental, it can be physical, where you're, physically intimate and physically doing things to help that other person. But the care should be there. So whether the woman is independent or whether she is dependent, if you care for her, you should show the care. The care should not be dependent on whether she has money or she doesn't, or whether she needs you completely and totally and has no way of leaving you because she's so dependent that she would not be able to feed herself without you, or whether she can completely feed herself and take care of her bills without you. So the idea that the care is somehow based on her independence or dependence is very strange to me, because the point of the relationship should be to provide care. Now, that also brings back the point of the relationship may not be that, because if a man is looking at the point of the relationship being he gets his needs met, he gets free labor, he gets access to what he wants from her, then he never planned on providing care, no matter whether she was dependent or independent. He planned on being a parasite. He planned on taking from her. So the statements seem to just point out that the men that make them, they don't care about women, about people. And they probably didn't care when women were more dependent. So her being independent is just one other reason amongst many that they have to criticize her and argue with her and attack her. Because if she wasn't independent, it would have been something else. So just I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And I'd love for you to check out my podcast, Zenergy, Zennurgy, and check out my books on Amazon. This is Zenashe, Zenase. I have 5 books on Amazon. I have a guided journal. I have a undated planner. I have 2 poetry prose memoirs and a children's book. Please like, share, subscribe, and sponsor. May you walk in Zenergy.